When we come together, we turn ideas into actions and moments into memories. Good morning, everyone. A very warm and hearty welcome to this August gathering.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون ولا تكونوا كالذين نسوا الله فأنساهم أنفسهم أولئك هم الفاسقون لا يستوي أصحاب النار وأصحاب الجنة أصحاب الجنة هم الفائزون لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون صدق الله العظيم.
By Badr Muhammad, followed by the Kuwait National Anthem presented by our school choir.
Take position. تحيا الكويت تحيا الكويت تحيا الكويت عاش الأمير عاش الأمير عاش الأمير.
To fill the atmosphere with positivity, let's join our hands and hearts together. The school choir will now lead us in the prayer song.
Lord, oh my Lord, oh gracious Lord.
request all of you to be seated. And now is the moment we've all been waiting for. We are truly honored to have with us a distinguished personality, Dr. John Varghese, Principal of St. Stephen's College, Delhi, who has graciously taken time to interact with our students. I request Ms. Stephanie Matthew, Head, Sustainability and Strategic Growth, to please do the honor of welcoming Dr. John Varghese. We also have Ms. Saira, wife of Dr. John Varghese, with us. I request Ms. Stephanie Matthew to once again do the floral welcome for Ms. Saira. It's a happy privilege to have Mr. K.T. Matthew and Mrs. Leelama Matthew, founders of Al-Isa Medical and Scientific Equipment Company and partner of Stellar Talks, with us. I invite Ms. Stephanie Matthew to do the floral welcome for Mr. K.T. Matthew and Mrs. Leelama Matthew. We have amongst the august gathering present here, Mr. K.O. Matthew, Managing Director of Stellar Education and Chairman of Aspire Indian International School and Indian Central School. I request Mr. Sundaram, Operations Manager of Aspire Indian International School and Indian Central School, to please come forward and do the floral welcome for Mr. K.O. Matthew. Now, let me call upon Mrs. Sujata Shivakrishnan, Principal of Indian Central School, to kindly come forward and formally introduce our distinguished guest and speaker for the day, Dr. John Varghese, to all of us.
Thank you, Rennie. A lovely morning with an invigorating nip in the air. While autumn in Kuwait offers besotted nature lovers rare sightings of avian visitors from distant lands, namely the exotic rose-hued flamingos. We at the schools here are incredibly privileged to welcome a luminary on the academic firmament of the national capital of Delhi to Kuwait. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's roll out the proverbial red carpet welcome to our distinguished chief guest of today, Dr. John Varghese, Principal of the most hallowed portals of learning in India, St. Stephen's College, Delhi. Let's take a quick look at this short video clip of our eminent chief guest.
Honorable and respected Prime Minister, I thank you for your gracious invitation to me as the only speaker here on behalf of educational institutions. Your practical vision of the neighborhood first policy has been eagerly put into practice by St. Stephen's College with its successful Young Leaders Neighborhood First Fellowship Program. It is the first such fellowship program of its kind in India, where we invite young leaders, young promising leaders from the neighborhood to come and learn the good practices that we have in India. This has been enabled because of your vision. We thank you for your vision and the support that the Ministry of External Affairs has provided to implement your vision. Your recent phenomenal leadership at the G20 is one more policy that St. Stephen's College wishes to follow up on.
Let's have a resounding round of applause for our eminent speaker. Sir, I understand that you edited Thomas Hardy's Tests of the Two Uberwells, a student's edition published by Orient Black Swan, a novel that grappled with the morals and hypocrisy of Victorian England. For the listeners here, the bio that I now proceed to read with awe and absolute admiration runs so. Dr. John Varghese, Principal, St. Stephen's College, Delhi, an educational institution steeped in glorious antiquity dating back to 1881, and has since then stood testimony to the finest academic standards with distinguished alumni who are literally movers and shakers in global economy, bureaucracy, and heads of state. I shall mention Stephanians like the very articulate Dr. Shashi Tharoor and the External Affairs Minister par excellence, Dr. S. Jaishankar. Dr. Varghese has adorned the post of Principal of St. Stephen's College, Delhi since 2016, and the mammoth responsibilities sit lightly on his very capable shoulders. He is an alumni of Madras Christian College, or MCC, and Loyola College, Chennai, and was awarded a doctorate in English literature from the Central Institute of English and Foreign Languages, now EFLU, Hyderabad. Dr. Varghese has taught literature, media and communication at Loyola College, Chennai, George Mason University, Ras Al Khaimah, UAE, St. Stephen's College, Delhi, English and Foreign Languages University, or EFLU, Hyderabad, and other very notable educational institutions. His tenure in leadership posts in universities that spanned Asia, Europe, and the US of A was marked with academic rigor and hugely successful international collaborations. I suppose in the Hindi heartland, Dr. Varghese is considered the inimitable Professor Henry Higgins in George Bernard Shaw's Pygmalion, taking the pains to correct many a Cockney accent. Let's now welcome on stage this very eminent educator and lifelong advocate for academic excellence. Thank you very much.
You have my presentation. presentation. Please put the first slide. Thank you, Principal Sujata, for your kind words. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Respected and dear Mr. K.T. Matthew, respected and dear Mrs. Leelama Matthew, Managing Director of Stella Education, Mr. K.O. Thomas, Ms. Stephanie Matthew Thomas, Mr. Atul, principals of both colleges, both schools. I'm used to saying colleges, pardon me. Principals of both schools, teacher colleagues, and my dear students. It's a great honor for me to be here this morning and to address all of you, especially young people who I hope will become the hope of the future. The hope of not only Kuwait, not only of India, but also, I hope, of the whole world. So I'd like to begin by expressing my thanks to God for the many, many blessings that each one of us has received from the Almighty. I stand here in front of you in two capacities. One, in my personal capacity as a member of the family, the larger family. But I also stand here as principal of St. Stephen's College, which is a very old institution. We are 144 years old this year. And St. Stephen's College, which has a legacy of having given not only to India, but also to the world, men and women who have led by example. So I'm here to ask you to also become leaders of your respective fields, whatever field you choose to go to. You see on the screen there, the crest of St. Stephen's College. It consists of a red star with a blue border and a crown in the center. The crown is for the person who will stand for truth despite obstacles and challenges. And below, in Latin, are inscribed the words which all of us, even if you are not in college as yet, all of us subscribe to. And in Latin, it means to the glory of God. Each of us here, when we are born with a purpose. What is that purpose? That is something education helps us find out and fulfill. So, You know this person. He's familiar to many of you. Can anyone tell me his name? Yes, Dr. Shashi Tharoor. You know his story. He was with the United Nations, but he chose to come back to his country to serve the people. Do you know this person? I'm sure you don't. His name is Indrajit Khanna, and he was a secretary to the government of India many times over. Indrajit Khanna, remember his name. You may not know this person either. His name is Bishwajit Bhattacharya, and he is the additional Solicitor General of India, which means in the judiciary, he's the number 2 person. Remember his name, Bishwajit Bhattacharya. This is Ajay Bisaria. He was the Indian ambassador to Pakistan. I have put his name and his photograph here because he has got a lesson to teach all of us. And remember the name, because I'm going to come back to all of them. Ajay Bisaria. This is a person you're familiar with. He is the Minister for External Affairs from the Government of India. And this is Dr. S. Jaishankar. All of them are from St. Stephen's College. But I bring them up here because there is a reason. I'm going to connect all of them and what they have done and continue to do in their respective fields. And I'm going to pose this question to all of you. Are you a future leader? That's a choice that is there in front of you. You're a student now, and so you may say, how can I be a leader? But definitely, you can be a leader if you resolve and decide for yourself that you want to be a leader. So therefore, the seed of leadership begins with a thought. And that thought should come from you. And I am here to provoke and encourage each one of you to become a future leader. Why? Because the world needs, not only your country, not only your community, not only a small part of the world, but the whole world needs dynamic leaders. And you are preparing for the future. What does it take to become a leader? What does it ask you to do? We're going to take up a few case studies. And the first case study is none other than Dr. Shashi Tharoor. All of us have at least heard him, if not seen and interacted with him. Dr. Shashi Tharoor is a former student of the college, and he is today a member of the parliament representing Thiruvananthapuram constituency. He is someone who has many abilities, but the case study for which I have zeroed in on him is because of his ability to communicate fluently and effectively. And case studies are meant for us to learn from. Shashi speaks fluently. And if he can speak fluently, so can we, provided we set our heart to learning how to communicate effectively. Why? Because as a leader, it is important for you to communicate your thoughts to whoever your audience is. So your audience can be your classmates, your audience can be your family members, but please understand that in the future, your audience can be varied, can be much larger, and your audience can be sometimes those who think differently from you. Your job as a future leader is to convince them that your thoughts are something worth listening to and accepting. So how do you do this? Case study number 2, Mr. Indrajit Khanna is a member of the Indian Administrative Service. The Indian Administrative Service is a very difficult job. But if you qualify for that, and you have to work hard to qualify for that, you will be put in positions of responsibility. This person has been a secretary to the government of India. A secretary is like an advisor. He advises the government of India. And he has done this not once, not twice, but he has done this 3 times over. So you understand how much of ability this person had. Mr. Khanna is also from St. Stephen's College. And one of the qualities that he demonstrates, which I wish to talk about, is not only excellence in studies, but also, importantly, courage. Mr. Indrajit Khanna is somebody who has had the spine and the courage, the moral courage, to say no to things which were not correct. And when you come to positions of power, you will know that there will be many temptations. There will be people who will try to attract you and take you away from the path which is correct. And you, if you want to be a future leader, you must stand firm on your principles, on your values. And Mr. Indrajit Khanna has had several examples where he has had to say no to political leaders, to bureaucrats, to diplomats, and to people who have tremendous power. But when they came up with something which was wrong, he had the moral courage to say, no, that is not possible. I will not permit it. Case study number 3, Mr. Vishwajit Bhattacharya. You know, in the Indian government, there are 3 pillars which hold up the government. That is the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. Lovely, lovely, very good. And the judiciary. And when the legislator and the executive have difficulties, they go to the judiciary to resolve them. And the additional Solicitor General is among the top judicial officers of the country. And they are given the freedom and the power to do what is legally correct. One of the striking features of this former student of the college is his integrity. Yesterday, Mr. Bishwajit Bhattacharya was talking to Mr. K.T. Matthew, and I was so happy because both of them share some qualities. I'll talk to you a little more about these qualities, but you must remember that integrity, being faithful to principles and values, is also a quality that young people should inculcate. Case study number 4. Ajay Bisaria was the Indian ambassador in Pakistan some years ago. When the relations between India and Pakistan went bad, the government of Pakistan expelled him from Pakistan. It was a very embarrassing situation. It was an insult. And Ajay Bisaria, as ambassador of India in Pakistan, he had to leave Pakistan. He made sure the embassy staff came back to India, and then he too came away to India. And it is so natural, it is so easy for a person who has been insulted to become sore and unhappy and to look for revenge. But this former student of the college, you know what he did? He put together a book, and that book tells about how the relations between Pakistan and India must become better. Remember, he has just gone through an insult, and he could have done many other things, but he chose to do the right thing. He chose to do what was positive. As young leaders, you will also face challenges. Don't think for a moment that life is going to be smooth and easy. No. As leaders especially, you will face challenges. Sometimes challenges which are so oppressing. Challenges like what Ajay Bisaria faced. Challenges which will be very insulting for you. But that is where you show your worth and your mettle as a leader. And you should be able to overcome those challenges and do the right thing. Do what is good. Not looking at your own personal difficulty, but looking at the larger objectives of the world. The last person in my case study is Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. He is also a former student of the college, and he is somebody I brought into this case study series because of his ability to look at situations differently. He is somebody who has been a bureaucrat, a civil servant, an IAS officer, and who has gone on to become an ambassador, and then he is now a minister representing India across the world. And his job is not an easy job. He has the opportunity of going with the flow of doing what has been done earlier, but he has also got the opportunity of thinking differently. And I have brought him into this because I think he is capable of doing one thing. And please remember this phrase. He is very good at thinking on his feet. What does that mean? That means he is aware of the situation, he knows the past, and he anticipates something positive for the future. And that is why I have put him here, because we can learn from him. We can learn how to have something called presence of mind. Presence of mind which will help you take your community, your country, and the world out of a difficult situation into a brighter future. These are 5 case studies I've placed in front of you. My question remains the same. Do you want to be a leader? You have a choice. You can be just an ordinary person and lead a quiet life. That is also possible. But you can choose to be a leader. The choice is yours. But what does it take to become a leader? It's not easy to become a leader. If you want to be a leader, you must excel in your studies and in the field that you choose to work. You cannot be a mediocre, a modern, ordinary person. You have to excel. Those 5 case studies, and I can give you any number of students, former students from St. Stephen's College, who have gone on to become leaders because they excelled in what they did. If you do well, people will pay attention to you. They will listen to you. They will obey you because you are the best in what you do. What does it take to become a leader? A leader does not work for herself or himself. A leader works for the community, for the country, for the world. Again, I can give you any number of examples from the World Bank, the Reserve Bank of India, several multinational companies, leaders of these places from college whose attitude has been, I am doing this work well, not for my own glory, not for fame, not for position, not for power, but because I want to share the goodness which I have. I want to share the knowledge which I have. I want to share the abilities which I have with the rest of the world. In the late 80s, we had a student who finished his studies and who went on a little trip to one of the desert regions in the state of Rajasthan in India. And when he went there, he found that it was a real desert, arid, no schools, no water wells, no facilities. And then he thought, I have topped my class, I have done well in school and college, and I want to become a civil servant, but here I see one part of my country which is underdeveloped, and I want to do something. And so he said, I will dig a bore well. So he dug a bore well so that there was water in that place. And as he dug the bore well, he found that the children in that village did not have schools to go to. So he told his parents, I'd like to start a school. They supported him, and he started a small school. And the school grew, and the children were educated. And then this person did not go back to his home in Delhi. He decided to stay back in that remote village called Tilonia in Rajasthan. And he said, I have built a school, now I must do something more. And he realized that the women of that village, very traditional village, they were illiterate. And they were spending most of their times secluded in their homes. He said, this is not good. They should also develop themselves and become educated and do things which they are capable of. So he taught them basic electronics, and he taught them how to make solar lamps. Solar lamps. Uneducated housewives and women were taught how to make solar lamps. And it became a big success story. The women were qualified to make solar lamps. And they became a huge sensation all around India. So much so that India decided that they will give them informally the title of solar engineers. The United Nations came to know about this, and they asked this young man if he would send these solar engineers across the world to South America, to Africa, to train the women there how they could become solar engineers and bring light, literally and figuratively, into the lives of people. So today, these solar grannies, they are accepted the world over because one man had a sense of service. You must go to a website called Barefoot College. It's not a formal educational institution, but the people there are doing work which transforms the world. What does it take to become a leader? You need to be excellent at your work. You need to do your work with a sense of service. Not for money, not for power, not for position, but because you want to serve. And you must do it with humility. Because human life is so uncertain. You may be the most powerful man on earth. You may be the richest man on earth. You may be the most influential person on earth. But no one can predict what tomorrow will bring. Therefore, it is good for us to be humble. Gandhiji had the leaders of the world listening to him. He was a humble man. Martin Luther King was a humble man. There are other leaders today whose lives of humility tell us that this is one of the great qualities of good leaders. When you become a leader, do not become arrogant, because arrogance will lead to to a fall. What does it take to become a leader? You need faith. You need faith in yourself. You need to know that you are capable. Your studies, your excellence should give you confidence, but not arrogance. You should be confident and you should know what your strengths are. You should have faith in yourself. Faith, not arrogance. But you should also, and this is fundamental, you should have faith in God. That is the foundation. Each one of us, we have been created by a God. And whatever name you call that God, it does not matter. But you must understand that there is a God who is watching over you and who means well for you. The God who created you did not create you just like that. He created you with a purpose. What is that purpose? You must find out what that purpose is. And you must work hard, you must work excellently, you must work in the spirit of service, you must work with humility, and you must work with faith. Faith in yourself and faith in a God who will give you what you need so that you can achieve your purpose. There is one more quality that characterizes leaders. And I have not put it down here. But this is something you must pay attention to. Leaders have vision. And that vision comes as a sum total of all of these four qualities: excellence, service, humility, and faith in yourself and in God. If you have all of these, and if you know your strengths, and if you want to serve your people, and if you want to take them forward, then you will also be able to see the future, what we call vision. Whether it's a multinational company, whether it's a non-government organization, whether it's a school, whether it's a hospital, whether it's a state government, or whether it is the world, you will have vision if you have four of these. Let me very quickly tell you my story. And I'm 59 years old, and there are several things that I can share with you regarding my journey. But I want to tell you about one significant incident, and I want you to use this as an example for your own lives. I am today the principal of one of the top colleges in India. The former students of this college rule the world, and the alumni of St. Stephen's College are on par with the alumni of the best institutions in the world. You think of any good institution in the world, anywhere in the world, and our alumni from St. Stephen's College can match any of them. And by the grace of God, I'm the principal of that college. But my story is very interesting. In 1990, I was a teacher in that college. And I was not a permanent teacher. I was a temporary teacher. And after 3 years, I thought that I should become permanent because I had done well, I had done my job properly. But after 3 years, when I went for an interview, I was rejected. I was told I didn't have a permanent job there, and I was shattered. I was heartbroken because I had given everything I had to my job, and it broke my heart. I went away from Delhi in tears, and I went to a place in Hyderabad, and I started doing my PhD there. But always I nursed a sadness that I had never become permanent at St. Stephen's College. Then, in 2015, I had to visit St. Stephen's College, and then I met the former principal, and he told me, John, have you applied? Then I said, applied for what? Then he told me, have you applied for the principal's post? I was taken aback because I was already in a position, in a teaching position, in a highly administrative position at a university in Hyderabad. And so I told him I did not apply. And he said, no, you must apply. So after prayers and after consulting my family and my children, I decided to apply for the post. And miracle of miracles, I was accepted. The person who was rejected as a teacher some years later was accepted. No, he was invited to become not a teacher, but to head the institution from where he was rejected. How did this happen? Number one, by the grace of God. Number two, because I tried to do my best in following all the 4 qualities which I had spoken to you about. If I can do that, if my story is possible, it is possible for each one of you. You will have problems, you will have challenges, you will have difficulties. That is the way to grow. When I went away from St. Stephen's College in '93 with tears in my eyes, desperate, heartbroken, it took 20 years for a benevolent God to prepare me, to tune my mind and to train my abilities for the big position that was there. If it can happen to me, believe me, it can happen to you. But on my journey, there have been many people from whom I have learned many important lessons. I'm going to share with you very briefly 2 people who influenced me tremendously, immensely, up to this moment. Their lives have been an inspiration for me. You may think that, oh, this man has been talking about ministers and people who are in big positions. But anybody can be your inspiration. My inspiration, Mohan Daniel. Mohan Daniel is 7 years older than I am. Today, he suffers from a health ailment. But his life has been an inspiration for me, because one of the things that he follows, and one day I was talking to him like I talk to many of my mentors. I try to spend as much time as possible with my mentors. And one of the things I asked him, Mohan, how is it that you do so much? You're so creative. You've started a big enterprise. You run it so successfully. So he smiled and he said, no, John, my policy is I have a little story. And he told me the story, and it's a beautiful story. He says there was a man, and he always used to carry a small bottle of oil in his pocket. And everybody used to be very surprised. What is this man carrying this small bottle of oil? And whenever he used to go through a door which was creaking, which was rusty, he'd stop, take out this bottle, and put a few drops on the hinges. You know, insignificant act, but it's got a larger significance. Your insignificant act of service, of excellence, of courage, of principles will make a difference wherever you are. When Mohan told me that story, I was struck by the simplicity of that story, but also of the great power which that story had over Mohan. Mohan is my mentor, even today. I spoke to him just before I came to Kuwait. You can make a difference to the world. You may think that mentors are very big people, they are out of reach, you can only read about them, see them on television or on social media, but no. You have mentors amongst you, here with you. Your parents can be your mentors. Your teachers can be your mentors. Let me tell you about another set of mentors that I have. Do you know them? They are here, right in front of us. Mr. K.T. Matthew and Mrs. Leelama Matthew. Why are they my mentors? Because of vision. Vision may be a small word, but it has within it these 4 great qualities: excellence, service, humility, and faith. When I listen to my mentors every time, and I try to spend as much time as possible with those who have impacted my life. And those 4 qualities are what I see in Appachan and Amachi. That's what they are to me. They may have their formal names, they may have their formal positions, but to me, they are Appachan and Amachi. And they are my mentors. When I was getting ready to come to Kuwait, I spoke to 3 of the 5 people whose names I put there. I spoke to Ajay Bisaria, former ambassador. I spoke to Vishwajit Bhattacharya, additional Solicitor General of India, and I spoke to Indrajit Khanna. And I told them that I'm going to meet one of my mentors. And they were very happy, and they told me, we will be happy to share our books with a mentor of yours. So today, I have with me a copy of each of the books that were written by Ajay Bisaria, the man who turned an insulting situation into an opportunity. Vishwajit Bhattacharya, who is so upright in his profession. Mr. Indrajit Khanna, who had the moral courage to say no to things which were not correct. And today, I am greatly privileged to hand over to Mr. K.T. Matthew these books which have been inscribed and dedicated to Mr. K.T. Matthew. I'm going to present it. I'll be back for more. you. Mr. K.T. Matthew has been gracious enough to let me know that these books will be in your library. Your library will also have some other books which I will hand over to Ms. Stephanie Matthew Thomas. And you must make it a point to read these books, because these books are books which have life. And I'm sure you will benefit from reading these books. But let me also take this opportunity to honor my mentor in the presence of all of you. May I request all of you to remain standing while I mark an expression of my respect, my love, and my thanks to what my mentors have given me. A time will come when you will also have mentors, when you will be leading people, and you must make sure that your mentors are thanked, respected. They may be your parents, they may be your teachers, they may be your people, they may be strangers, but it is important to pay your respects and to thank them. So let me do my part today. Thank you very much. Please be seated. You have a choice before you. You can choose to be an ordinary person leading your life quietly, or you can choose to be a leader. And don't think that a leader means you have to head a government or you have to go and become the top honcho of a commercial company. No, your leadership begins now. You can be a leader even now in your class. You can be a leader at home. You can be a leader wherever you choose to go and become a leader. So, choose wisely. The world is waiting for you. The world needs good leaders. You look around and you see something which is not correct. That's an opportunity for you. You see something which is not being done properly. That is an opportunity. Not for someone else, but that is an opportunity for you. Thank you very much for patiently listening to me. I'm very grateful to Mr. K.O. Matthew. I'm very grateful to Ms. Stephanie. I'm very grateful to the principals of both schools, to the staff who've made all the arrangements, who've taken so much of trouble, pain, and gone through this. But most importantly, I'm grateful to the students of both the schools who have patiently listened to me. Thank you very much. God bless each one of you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your motivating and insightful words. Your presence has made this morning truly special. As a mark of our respect and gratitude, we would now like to present a memento to our esteemed guest. We also
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Sara, and I wanted to ask, as an English professor, what is your view about how pop culture and social media today have influenced the way young people express themselves?
Language is evolving, and what used to be considered literature, pure literature in my time, has undergone a change. So today, what we consider as literature, had it been 30 years ago, and the people who were considered as pundits, as professors, as regulators of literature, if they considered the works which are there popular today, they would have said this is not literature. But if you look at the Nobel prizes for literature, it's gone to very modern kinds of writing. So it is evolving, and social media is not bad, provided you use it in a responsible manner. And all of these are the ways in which we change, and change is important. We have to accept change, but we also need to be very clear about how change is going to be used for us, for good or for bad. And you always have a choice. So therefore, making the right choices is good. The books which I have for your schools, they are considered across classic literature and modern literature. And there are 4 volumes. And they've got lovely examples of what is literature. Please read, because reading will give you insights into the human psyche, into the human mind. And all said and done, though AI is here, though robots are here, though artificial intelligence is here, though machine learning is here, nothing can replace the human mind or the element. We are still above all of them. So the more you read about humans, their experiences, which are captured in literature, the stronger you'll become, the better you'll become. Your chances for becoming successful are much, much more.
And I have a question for you. How can a person who is alone in life or without any mentors be a leader?
A person who is alone in life cannot become a leader, because by nature we have been made, we are social beings. A person who thinks he can be isolated from the rest of the world and become a leader, not possible. We are meant to interact with each other, and our leaderships, whatever the leadership is, can come to the fore only while mingling, while interacting with others. If you're all alone, where is the leadership? Whom will you lead? You okay with that? You've got the point.